15 years ago, I got sober by accident. And I say by accident because when I quit drinking, it wasn't because I thought I had an alcohol problem. I had a nicotine problem. I had a 2-can-a-day nicotine habit. I was dipping tobacco and I wanted to quit. And I knew that, okay, if I want to quit this, I've got to stop this because alcohol was such a trigger for me. And so it was in 2010, I decided this is it. I'm going to quit dipping. I quit alcohol, but something amazing happened. I realized, wait a second, not only am I not dipping, maybe I had a problem with alcohol and maybe I didn't realize it. Even though I had a DUI, even though I would get blackout drunk, even though I was using alcohol as a crutch in order to basically quiet the demons in my head and also deal with some of the issues that I wasn't brave or strong enough to deal with from my childhood. I also, for those of you who've been around for a while, have mentioned this before, but for the first 2 years of my YouTube career, every single video that I did, by the end of it, I would be drunk. My routine was on a Friday, I'd go get a 6-pack of beer, I'd put my camera up, the beer would be right off camera, and in between cuts, I'd take a sip. By the time I'd be done, I'd be completely wasted, I'd be passed out drunk by the time my wife would get home from work on Fridays. That was a lot of fun. But I didn't realize I had a problem. Not until I stopped drinking 100%. And that's kind of what I want to talk a little bit about today. I'm sure that there's somebody out there right now that needs to hear this message. And even though I'm uncomfortable talking about the fact that I was a mess and I'm embarrassed and it makes me uncomfortable, I feel like it's probably important because if there's one person out there that I can help or that hears my story and it makes them decide that, okay, I'm going to choose me and I'm going to choose my future and I'm going to choose sobriety, well then it's definitely worth it. I started drinking when I was 16 years old. That was the first time I got drunk. I remember where I was. I remember when it happened. It was at Nicky Cimbello's house. His parents were away and my mom knew I was sleeping over and he was having a party and I decided to get lit and I got wasted, super drunk. And it was fun. The next morning, people told me all the funny things that I did, and I was like, wow, I don't remember it, but that was awesome. And then the rest of high school, I would drink on weekends, right? I'd hang out with my buddies, we'd get a bunch of beer, we'd go over to a house party, and we would proceed just to get absolutely shit-faced. And it was fun. It wasn't fun the night of graduation when I was supposed to go and hang out with my girlfriend and a bunch of friends, and I woke up in my car, not knowing where I was, and she wasn't there. That wasn't fun. And then in college, I kept drinking to get absolutely destroyed every single time I would drink. But then I didn't have my parents around to basically keep me in check. And so it was pretty much any time I wanted to, which ended up being more than I needed to. And so throughout college, I proceeded to drink. When I drank, it would always be to the point of pretty much passing out or getting blackout drunk. I was not the person that could handle it responsibly. I was not the person that could go out and have a few beers and hang out with my buddies and then go home and sober up. That wasn't me. It never was me. And I graduated college and it continued. I moved to Atlanta and I was trying to basically start a business and it wasn't working and I ended up getting married and I kept drinking. I kept getting drunk. I kept abusing myself. But I didn't know that I had a problem. And everybody else that was my age was doing it. Everybody else was going out and having fun and getting wasted and sharing the stories. And oh my God, I can't believe it was normal. And that's one of the downsides to alcohol. It's so ingrained in what we do in terms of leisure or fun, that it's commonplace and we excuse it. It's like, okay, I don't have a problem because I'm not as bad as this person, or I'm not as bad as that person, or I only have 1 DUI, that dude has like 3 or 4, that person has a problem, but I don't. I don't have a problem, even though I can't go out and socially drink. I don't have that problem. It's just something that I did. It's just something that you do. It's something that's normal. But in 2010, when I decided I wanted to quit nicotine because I was choosing not to get mouth cancer, I stopped drinking 100%. And that was the point at which clarity struck. You know, unfortunately, a lot of times when you're doing self-destructive things, you don't realize they're self-destructive until you stop. And that's a lot of times when the moment of clarity happens. For me, that's exactly how it happened. And when I stopped, I realized, okay, stupid, things look a lot different now. What looked different is I wasn't doing the self-destructive things. I wasn't waking up and regretting what I was did or what I thought I did or what I didn't remember I did the night before, or I'd look at my phone. I didn't look at my phone and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I sent that text. Or, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Or I wouldn't have people call me saying, oh my God, you were such an asshole. That wasn't happening anymore. Things looked different. Things tasted different. My relationship was better. I wasn't waking up hungover. I didn't hate myself. And that was the first surprising thing that happened when I got sober 15 years ago. I stopped hating myself. Because even though I had what I thought was pretty good self-esteem, there's this perpetual cycle that you're in when you're somebody that is abusing alcohol or anything for that matter. You do it, you know you shouldn't, you wake up, you hate yourself. And then you're like, I'm never doing it again, right? Then you do it again, and you hate yourself again. You do this enough times and for enough years, you don't love yourself. I can tell you that. But when I stopped, I was like, wait a second, I'm awesome. I didn't feel awesome at the time, but I got awesome because that's something else that I didn't realize was going to happen. But my self-esteem, my confidence, my productivity, my happiness, my relationships, everything started to get better. Everything got more clear. My mind wasn't foggy. It wasn't fuzzy. I started to look better. I was happier. I had better relationships because one of the things that I learned is that when you are in the midst of some type of self-destructive behavior, it is very hard to have healthy, happy relationships. You do so much damage to your own self-esteem that it affects how you relate to other people. It also affects how you interact with them. And so for me, things that got better, my relationship with my mother got better. My relationship with my wife got better. I was a better husband, but I was a worse friend to a lot of the people that I was hanging out with, which was something else that shocked me. I lost the majority of my friends. The people that I would hang out with and do all of the drinking and the self-destructive things, I didn't want to hang out with them anymore because something else you're going to learn is that it's not fun. It's not fun being the sober person around a bunch of drunk people. It's just not. They're annoying. And you'd rather be doing something better, that feels better, that looks better, that is just more fulfilling. And so I stopped hanging out with them. But the other reality is that they stopped calling because people that are drunk or drinking or doing the self-destructive things that you are not doing anymore, they are uncomfortable when you're not. And so they pressure you. And I didn't want to be pressured. It's like, I don't want to deal with this. And so we grew apart. Now, one of the things that looking back, I didn't realize, but I was saving my own life. Because a lot of the people that I was doing that with are not around anymore. And they didn't die of old age, I can tell you that, you know? And so when I got sober 15 years ago, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was choosing the future me. I was choosing the future successful me. I was choosing the future still married me. Most of my friends from back in the day, they've been through a few marriages by this point. I'm still going strong with my spicy señorita. We have a better relationship now than we did back when we started dating. The love has grown. The relationship has matured. It has developed. It hasn't been easy. Of course not. But one of the things that's going to make it impossible to thrive is you being drunk, is you doing the self-destructive things. You put yourself in these bad situations enough times, something bad is going to happen. Whether or not it's infidelity, whether or not it's a DUI, whether or not it's you doing something that you can't take back. If you don't put yourself in the situation, it won't happen. Now, I still do stupid shit because I'm still stupid, but I don't do the stupid shit because of being drunk. And that is something that is incredibly liberating. I don't want to have the feeling that I used to have waking up not knowing what happened. There's nothing worse. You know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. And if you're watching this video this far, you probably know what I'm talking about. And that's really the reason why I wanted to do this video and share, is because I've been thinking about it lately. Now, what does my relationship look like now with alcohol? It's not zero alcohol. That's not what sobriety means to me today. Sobriety means not getting drunk, being able to go out and casually drink, responsibly drink, socially drink. If I want a glass of wine with dinner, I have a glass of wine with dinner. I don't have 2 bottles of wine. If I want to have a bourbon with my buddies, I have a bourbon, 2. I've learned that 3 is too much for me. I'll be able to go out and have a beer, 2, on the weekends, not every day. Not 7 days a week, not 5 days a week like I was. That to me is sobriety. And it's amazing, if I'm being honest. And I just wanted to talk about it. I just wanted to share my experience. I'm embarrassed that I live that type of life and that alcohol had such a negative impact on me, but you can't go back and change things. But what you can change is the future, and you can choose the future you. So what I'd like to recommend, if you're somebody that's not sure, try not drinking for a month. How do you feel? And then, if you've gone a month, why don't you go a little bit further? Go 2 months, maybe 3. At 6 months, I can tell you that your life is going to look very different. You're going to make more money because you're going to be focused. You're also not going to waste as much money as that you did when you were going out drinking and then eating all the crappy food. You're not going to have to waste money on a DUI lawyer. You're not going to have to waste your time going to community service because you got a DUI. Or you're not wasting time being hungover and not being productive. Your Saturdays, your Sundays, they get so much more productive. You've got so much more time in the day. And you feel amazing. But the most important thing is that you're going to feel incredible about yourself. You're worth it. And I'm proud of you. If you're somebody that can go out and responsibly drink, congratulations. This video isn't for you. But if you're somebody that is thinking maybe your life would be better without alcohol, I can tell you from experience it will, and it is. It just takes you taking action, being strong, and making it happen. I'm proud of you. When it's right, it's going to be right. When you decide, you're going to decide. And I promise you, life gets better. I love you, and just wanted to share. I thought it was important.